My name is Jeff Morgan. I'm from Dallas, Texas. As anybody knows, especially at this time of year in Texas, we have an election going on. I have not yet voted, but I will be voting soon. One of the races that is of particular interest to me is the race between Senator Ted Cruz and Colin Allred, who was currently in the House of Representatives. And I say that this is very, very interesting and very much has caught my attention because several years ago when Colin Allred ran for representative, he lied about somebody. I have firsthand knowledge of this. He helped to perpetuate a lie. He helped to foster a lie. He helped to use a lie. I confronted him about it, and Colin Allred decided that he did not even want to talk to me. I have video footage where I was trying to get a hold of Colin Allred, talk with him, and Colin Allred was running away. He had his people blocking me from being able to speak with him. I followed him in the parking lot when he was going into his car from the Cafe Gecko up on Campbell Drive, and I said, Colin Allred, I want to talk to you. And he said, I don't want to talk to you. And the reason is that he did not want to talk to me is because I had been sending his campaign messages about Colin Allred's lies. The lies that he was telling about Pete Session, against whom he was running and whom he defeated at that time. So Colin Allred, I know from firsthand experience, is not a man of integrity. He is a man who will use whatever he can to get into office. But right now I have another question for Colin Allred, and originally I wanted to wait so I could verify this a little bit more, but I really want to know if Colin Allred has a secret that he's not telling. Somebody told me recently about it, and then it was confirmed by other people out of the blue just this past week. So I want to know if Colin Allred has a dirty little secret. Now most people know that Colin Allred was... Some people know that Colin Allred was married in March of 2017. And in June of 2017, it appears that perhaps Colin Allred had the 7-year itch early, like at 3 months. So there's a state representative here who was noted for a couple of things. I mean, she was very distinguished among the Latinas. She had owed lots of taxes because of a house.
2019, she was sued for $50,000 by Richardson ISD in Dallas County for property taxes.
She was involved in an accident with a tree where she was a drunk driver, hit a tree, and then when the police came, she was basically almost trying to verbally make love to them. I love you, I'll defend you, but she did take her penalty. I want to say, Victoria Neave, good job at least accepting responsibility. But there's something else. There's a dirty little secret there, it would appear. Now, I have most of the verification on this. I cannot verify it 100%, but I do think this is one of those questions. Being as Colin Allred is running for the Senate, I think that we, the voters, have the right to know whether this is true or not. So I really would like a statement from Colin Allred. I would like a statement from Victoria Neave. And I also would like a statement from Ana Maria Ramos, who's another Texas representative in the in the state of Texas. So these three people are public figures. I think that because they're all running, well, Victoria Neave is no longer running for representative. She still currently is a representative. So they're public figures, and we have the ability, we have the right to ask our public figures to tell us the truth about certain things. So I believe it was in June of 2017 when Victoria Neave hit this tree, damaged the tree, was picked up for drunk driving, had her license suspended.
It's 2:40 in the morning when Victoria Neave is booked at the Dallas County Jail. She appears calm and steady as she waits to be fingerprinted and photographed. 3 hours earlier, she was here at the corner of Abrams Parkway in La Vista, where she crashed her 2012 BMW Z4 into a tree. The police report describes her as having bloodshot eyes, a strong odor of alcoholic beverage, and unsteady balance. Someone was with her, an unidentified man who first claimed the car was his. The story changed, and Neave confirmed she was driving by stating with slurred speech, "I didn't hit anything."
There was a passenger in the car who evidently scampered away. And the passenger who scampered away was none other than the person who is running for senator right now, Colin Allred. Now, once again, I looked at the story when I heard about it. People told me about it, and I'm not sure. Don't want to be speaking about something that may not have happened. But then just the other day I was talking with another person, didn't mention any of the details, and this other person confirmed to me that indeed Colin Allred was in the car. Colin Allred was having an affair with Victoria Neave. And that's what had happened. The Colin Allred was breaking off the affair with Victoria Neave. And evidently, I don't know if this is all completely true, but she got upset and she ran into a tree. Colin Allred, rather than standing around waiting for the people to pick him up, he skedaddled, scampered away. Scampy Allred. Scampy Colin Allred.
If you give me the chance to be your United States Senator, I'll never abandon you.
Now, again, I don't know all the details about this, but I have been told this, that not only the few people that have told me this could verify it, but that it was well known. It was known among the Democrats. It was known among many people that are higher up in politics, and I've ever cared to be that I really am or anything like that. But Scampy Allred ran away. So he was running away from the scene of an accident. Why? Because he did not want his wife to know that he had been sleeping with Victoria Neave. Now, Victoria Neave, as most people know, is not the example of moral excellence that we would like to expect from our leaders. Far, far from it. Nor is Anna Maria Ramos, and it would appear, nor is Colin Allred. The other day when I was watching the debate that was taking place between Colin Allred and Ted Cruz, Colin Allred was talking about how during January 6th, he was ready to fight.
Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob.
He was not going to let people's lives be put at risk. But the interesting thing is that Colin Allred, at least it would appear, and once again, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. I would like independent statements from Colin Allred, from Victoria Neave, from Anna Maria Ramos, all of whom know the facts of that accident and who was in the car with Victoria Neave in June of 2017. Now, even though Colin Allred's willing to fight during January the 6th, during June 2017, he ran. He ran. Scampered away. Scampy Allred, it appears, from all the reports that I have been given, scamped out of there. He just wanted to cut and run. Maybe he did not want his wife to know he was having an affair. His wife looks like a very beautiful lady. His wife works for Cleary, Stain, Gottlieb, something like a law firm. You know, she's a lawyer, he's a lawyer. He was a former football player for the Tennessee Titans. He played 5 years. I think he had a neck injury, and then he had to go back to law school, finished up his dream of becoming a civil rights attorney. And in fact, that was one of the things I tried to talk with Colin Allred about, was how he would defend civil rights in family court. But Colin did not like me, and he would not answer my questions. Again, when I questioned him about the use of fabricated information, or the misuse of the misuse of true information, and to smear a person and make him say something he wasn't saying. That's when he came up onto my radar as a person that I wanted to confront, to be truthful about his positions, and to answer my questions. He did not want to talk to me, even though he was my representative. He did not want to represent me. And I thought a representative was supposed to be to represent all the people of his or her district. But Colin Allred did not want to talk to me. So how could he represent me without talking to me? But Colin, you have a second chance right now. You are running for Senate in the great state of Texas. You are running at a federal level. And I think it is only right for the people to know what exactly happened in June of 2017. Many people have reported that you were in the car with Victoria Neave when she got into her accident, when she was drunk, and part of the reason she was in the accident was because you were calling off the affair with Victoria Neave. Now, first off, I would say, if that's all true, which from everything that I've heard appears to be the case, congratulations on calling off the affair with Victoria Neave. But I think that people all should know too, are these reports accurate? How long were you having an affair with Victoria Neave? Did you run away from the scene of an accident? Did you try to scamper out of there so that your name would not be sullied? So that your congressional career and perhaps your Senate career would not be sullied, would not be put in jeopardy? And I think the people of Texas ought to be able to ask you the question. We need to have a statement from Colin Allred with regard to this. What happened in June 2017? And I think I have the exact date down here. I don't remember completely. But what happened when Victoria Neave had that accident? Were you in the car with her? Were you having an affair with her? Even though you had been married a mere 3 months, did you have an affair with Victoria Neave as well prior to getting married? Was it only after you got married? What exactly are the details of this? I remember when there was a Republican debate back in 2012, and Rick Perry and Newt Gingrich were up there, and Newt Gingrich said something, and Rick Perry said, "Sorry, Newt, but if you're having an affair on your wife, we can't trust you because you have violated the most sacred of vows." And Colin Allred, we want to know, have you been a person who has violated the most sacred of vows? Were you indeed sleeping with Victoria Neave? Now, two things. First off, if you were, that also impacts what we would think about your judgment. Your judgment probably is not very good. And we know, once again, that Victoria Neave is not the most pure and most virtuous person. We also know, too, that Ana Maria Ramos is not the most pure, most virtuous person either. And now we have our questions about you. You have this image. You're a family man. You're out there with your wife. How much you love her. And I have no doubt that you do. But the public needs to know. Can they trust you? And one of the ways we know if we can trust you is if your wife can trust you with the marital vows that you have taken. If the people can trust you to uphold the most sacred of these wedding vows. Now, Mr. Allred, we would like to say, I would say personally, that if these things are true, I think you should come clean. If there are skeletons in the closet, bring them out of the closets. And we should know this prior to voting. In fact, I would also say, too, that you should also step down. There was another person who was in office, Republican person, a few years ago, who stepped down because he had an affair with somebody. He stepped down to try to fix his family. Now, husband and wife split up. He still gets to see his children and everything. But we would like to see you actually heal your marriage. Physician, heal yourself. Congressman or senator, heal your family. You have 2 beautiful kids. They need to know that they have a faithful father. Your wife needs to know that she has a faithful husband. And you know what? Maybe you did step out. Maybe you stepped out on multiple times. We don't know exactly what took place here. But there's a different issue as well, because in addition to the idea of faithfulness, once again, if you were there and if you scampered away like a little coward because you did not want your name to be sullied, if you scampered away because you did not want your wife to know that we were having an affair, if you fled the scene of an accident, I believe that becomes more of a criminal issue at the same time. So, Scampy, I really would like to ask you to put forth a public statement, put forth an affidavit. I am a notary public. I can sign the affidavits, but I'm sure you don't want to see me, as you said back in when you first were running for representative. You don't want to talk to me. You don't want to deal with me. You don't talk to me. So I'm sure you wouldn't be coming to my place to have me sign your affidavit. But I would like to have a sworn affidavit, independently sworn affidavits from you, from Victoria Neave, and also as well from Ana Maria Ramos. The reason I'm focusing on you 3 individuals is because you are all public officials. And I think that as public officials, you are accountable to the public. The public has a right to know. The public has a right to know how you live, and if you are being faithful, the public has the right to know. There are other individuals that evidently have knowledge of this, and I'm not really talking too much about them right now because they aren't public officials. I could. And Ana Maria Ramos, I think you know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of things there that we could get into, Ana Maria Ramos. So I would like to know, what did you know? When did you know it? Tell us the full details of this apparently sordid affair that was taking place, the accident that took place. And again, Colin, if you were actually breaking things off on that day, that was a good move. And if for any reason these people that have been telling me these stories about you, Colin, are fabricating them, please bring forth some verification. I will tell you right now, this is not 100% verified. I think it's probably 98% verified, maybe even 99% verified, but there's always a little tiny doubt that perhaps all of these people that have been telling me about the affair that you were having with Victoria Neave Perhaps they might be wrong. I don't know. But I think, this is where we need to have Victoria Neave give her affidavit. We need to have Anna Maria Ramos give her an affidavit. And of course, we need to have Colin Allred, who may be carrying a secret. Colin Allred, who may have skeletons in his closet. Colin Allred, who presents himself as being a pro-Christian, a Christian man. And yet I know personally, from my experience with you, that you're willing to use whatever you can to advance your agenda. You're willing to take stories, to twist them, to lie about people. And it would not surprise me in the least if this had gone on and you're willing to cover it up, hoping to bury it, hoping it never sees the light of day, simply so that you can be a senator. I would hope that you would clarify this. I think the people of Texas have a right to know. By the way, I'm not affiliated with any campaign in this race. I would say the same things to Republicans and to Democrats. It doesn't make a difference. We have a right to know that those people that are representing us have the character, that they embody the morals of the people. And adultery, especially if you've only been married 3 months, is usually not a Texas value. So I'm going to once again ask for people that watch this, once again, I'm hoping that Colin Allred will provide an affidavit, will provide some type of a testimony, will provide some statement clarifying what took place in June. If he was there, as many people have said he was. In fact, it's even been stated to me that there were Democrats that were covering for Colin Allred. And why the Republicans didn't say more about it, I don't know. Victoria Neave, I don't know that you can really trust much of what she says, but assuming that perhaps you can, I would like to have her give out an affidavit. It would be great to have a sworn statement somehow by Victoria Neave and Anna Maria Ramos, the person. Well, we know a lot about you. We know a lot about your husband, about the things that you have been doing that are unconscionable. And we would like to have a statement from you, because there are more details of the story involving you and your husband that we could release. So Anna Maria Ramos, please provide a statement. I think the best thing, Victoria Neave, she's out of there. She got a little bit too big for her britches, and she ran against somebody, and she got voted out. So good. We no longer have to deal with Victoria Neave. We don't have to deal with the drunk Victoria Neave, the feminist, the Victoria Neave. And Victoria Neave, we have a lot of other things that could come out about you.
Texas House Speaker Dade Phelan has put a Democrat in charge of the House County Affairs Committee who has had multiple run-ins with the law, and she is a radical, extreme progressive. In 2017, she was arrested for DWI after she ran her BMW right into a tree. That same year, she went on a hunger strike protesting cracking down on sanctuary cities. 2019, she was sued for $50,000 by Richardson ISD in Dallas County for property taxes. In 2021, she fled the state of Texas in an attempt to halt legislation from going forward over election integrity. I haven't even gotten into her sick, disgusting, radical votes and views on abortion.
We're going to just report as we see it. We want to give you an opportunity to respond, though. Colin Allred, in particular, I think that you need to come clean. And Allie, there's a lot of us, you look like you have a beautiful marriage. We hate to see this take place right now. But I think what you should do, if this is the case, and if you know about this, I think you should say, Colin, you need to step down. I mean, integrity is part of what attorneys are supposed to be standing for. And I've actually interacted with people from the law firm that, I don't know if you work for them right now or worked for them in the past, but I've interacted with them. I've been interviewed by them for something. So I just think that, you ought to come forward and say, Colin, if this is true and if it's something that you've suspected, first off, we do pray for you. We do hope that you get the counseling that you need. We do hope that your marriage becomes stronger than ever. We know that people fail morally, and yet that in itself is not a reason to dissolve a marriage. We know that sometimes the moral failure is that marriages can be strengthened. Families can even grow stronger. Knowing that they've had this blemish, whatever you want to call it in the background, but you've got to address it. And for the voters of Texas, Colin Allred, you need to come clean. You need to provide a statement. Were you there? And the reason I would like to see the statement, from you, from Victoria Neave, from Anna Maria Ramos, make it public. I'd be glad to help put it out, because evidently there are lots of people who could contradict your testimony if you're lying. And if you're telling the truth, they could you'll probably get some people that will say one thing or another no matter what you say. But this is a very serious allegation. It is a very serious allegation, and from everything that I have been told through independent resources, it would appear that it is actually a very true allegation. So Colin Allred, if you have a secret, if you have a skeleton, if there's something that the people of Texas should know about moral failures in your life, if you will break the most intimate bonds, the most intimate vows that you've taken, how do we know that we can trust you, especially when your positions on policy are changing? They're evolving right before our eyes. I've talked with people that have said, can you believe what he's saying? That is not what he believes at all. I know you're trying to present yourself in a certain way. Everything is image. But let's go beyond the image and get down to the reality. So Colin, I would like to hear from you. Please, you could put out a statement. I believe that this newspaper should be covering it. By the way, I do plan to send this out to the newspapers that have endorsed Colin Allred. I mean, the Dallas Morning News, that they would love to have this. They're the purists, and Texas Tribune and many of these other newspapers, they're endorsing Colin Allred. But are they endorsing a candidate that they don't know enough about? Are they endorsing an ideology? Are they endorsing the character of a possible adulterer even after only 3 months of marriage? So Colin, please come out and say something here. We want to hear from you. I believe at the same time that you should also drop out of this race, that you should focus on healing the relationship with your wife and your kids. I think you should quit lying to the people of Texas, assuming everything that I've said is true. And once again, I will say that these are the things that I have seen. In Texas, we say, if you see something, say something. Well, I'm seeing something, and I'm saying something. And you can bring forth the evidence. I think that, that you should. I think you owe it to the people of Texas. People of Texas, I will tell you that everything that I have said in this small video here, to the best of my knowledge, is absolutely true. I will not die for this thing, because there may be a 1% chance, a 2% chance that something is wrong. But I've had independent confirmation. And evidently this was widely known that Scampi Allred, Colin Allred, Colin the Scampiness, Colin Scamp Allred ran from the scene of a crime, from a scene of a drunk driving accident, I should say. He should have had the duty and the responsibility to be there, make sure that Victoria was okay. He abandoned that. So Colin, Victoria, Anna Maria, looking forward to hearing you refute what I'm saying. Offer your statement of what happened on those days so that the public can see it, and the public can contradict it or affirm it. If you've got people that said, no, Colin wasn't there on, I think it was June the 6th or June the 7th or something like that of 2017. He wasn't involved in that accident. He was here at the same time that accident took place. Fine, please let us know. But from what I've heard, and even from what Anna Maria Ramos's husband has said, her husband said this, yes, but he's not a public figure, so I'm not going to call him. He's got enough problems of his own right now. I believe that he may even be under investigation for a few things. He's got enough issues that he needs to be dealing with. So, but please come forth. Let us know. Colin Allred, do you have a secret? I think you do. And I think the people of Texas have the right to know what that dirty little secret may be.
Listen, it's time to finally tell the truth here. It's time to finally tell the truth here. It's time to finally tell the truth here.